to the Anime and Chill podcast.
Hello and welcome to Anime and Chill, and today I would like to introduce y'all to the new host of the show, Blue.
Hello.
I'm interested to see where this goes and how we kind of grow together as hosts. And what I wanted to ask you was what was the main thing or main reason you wanted to be a part of the show?
Main reason is just I talk about anime a lot, so why not do it on a podcast?
Yeah, because that's the whole reason why I started, my podcast. It was okay, I'm watching this anime. I want to talk about it. Let me start up the podcast. You know what I mean? I was doing it by myself and I kind of wanted to bring in someone else. So I think it's awesome that two of us now, and we're going to see where it goes.
Yeah, with talking with friends and stuff like that, they don't know half the crap I'm talking about. So with podcasts, people actually know what they're
Facts.
they're actually looking into listening about anime, rather than a stranger coming up behind them and starting to talk about random, I don't know, shonen crap.
Yeah, for real. And that's a big reason why I started too, because most of my friends, some of them like anime, but a lot of them don't. And it's just not many people to talk to about it. So that was the main reason why I started the podcast. And it's so great to have you here. For all the people listening that probably, don't really know you, maybe you could talk about what you do and on the internet and stuff.
I'm Blue Dubs. It's in the name. I do comic dubs, but recently,
Yeah.
and my goal is to make my channel into more of just voice acting in general, straying away from just comic dubs.
Yeah. So recently, I also started voice acting. I actually did this podcast before I ever started voice acting and stuff, and recently that's what I've gotten into, and that's how we met, through that, voicing each other's videos and stuff. All right, so I have some questions so that the people listening can get to know our thoughts on some stuff. So here's the first question. What is your favorite anime of all time?
My favorite anime of all time is One Piece. I talk about it a lot, randomly. No, someone could be talking about something completely different and I'll be just One Piece? I like it because fight scenes are good, the world building is great, the creator Oda never forgets a character, and they're a lot unique in appearance. I mean, and also another thing is romance isn't something that's necessarily focused on, and it's just overwhelming in other series, and I don't know, it's just a healthy dose, but also not really.
So the thing about One Piece for me is it's 1,000 episodes now. That's the biggest thing that has gotten me not into One Piece. Because if I get into that, it consumes you, right? It has to.
Yeah, it does. The character Zoro, if you've seen some of the just crap sprites I made in 30 minutes, you'll see that I have the Zoro piercings on them. That's because I actually have the piercings, because I really wanted to be able to wear Zoro's earrings. So yeah, it's actually physically affected me.
He's your favorite character?
Yeah, one of them. It's hard to have a favorite character in it.
But you just love everyone in the show.
Yeah, but mainly Zoro.
I gotta ask this. Have you seen every episode of One Piece?
Not the recent ones. I haven't gotten to the time to catch up, but I have seen up to 900 and... I'm 10, 20 episodes into the Wano arc, which is the current one.
Goodness, 900 episodes. That's insane. That just boggles my mind. But even though I watched Naruto, I watched 500 episodes. So, I mean, I can't really talk, I guess. It's insane how many episodes of Naruto there are.
I really want to go back and rewatch Naruto, because I honestly don't remember that much about it. Because I think it was a good couple years ago that I watched it. I mainly got to rewatch Naruto Shippuden.
Yeah, that's the one you want to rewatch for sure.
Yeah.
That's the one I watched that really brought me into anime for sure, is Naruto Shippuden. And honestly, for me, for that question, what is your favorite anime of all time? For my favorite, I would say Naruto, because it's the thing that, as I said, brought me into anime, and it kind of opened the door for everything. If I had to pick the best show I've ever seen, it would of course be maybe Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood for me, because that show is just so perfect in so many ways. Ending was perfect. The characters so good.
It wrapped up so well. After thinking about a lot of different animes, it's really hard to pinpoint which one's your favorite, because there's just different genres, and then things that could be put into different favorite like selections, but I don't know, there's just like aspects about
Yeah.
different anime that can be your favorite in like this way, or like how they did that, or like yeah, it's hard to explain.
Yeah, like you can like an anime for its world building and like the characters, but maybe like the ending wasn't that great or this wasn't that great about it. And then this anime did this amazing and you can love it for that. So that's the cool thing about anime for sure.
I mean, talking about like endings, like you could have a great anime and then have like a crap ending that ruins it all. So I feel like
Yeah,
the ending is also a huge thing in many anime.
for sure. So I guess moving on to the next question. This one's kind of funny. Who is your favorite waifu slash husbando?
Well, this depends on what we're watching. Back when I
Mhm.
first watched Death Note, I had the biggest thing for L because I mean, weird
Oh
people.
my god.
I was one of those people.
L.
Sometimes I'll even sit like him unironically. It's a real problem.
He was kind of clean when he was sitting there. He looks like he's really in his thoughts. Like I miss L, man.
Yeah, like
I don't want to spoil what happened to him, but I miss him.
waifus and husbandos can like change depending on what I'm watching, or it's really hard to just like give
For
a
sure, yeah.
specific one. When I was watching Hunter x Hunter, I was like, when's Leario coming back? I know in the manga he did a lot, like he was a lot stronger of a character than they made him out to be in the anime.
That's good because at the end of the anime, it's not really a spoiler, but he gets his powers. I don't know if he gets his powers, but like his powers kind of awaken or something like that.
No, I think he's been practicing with it. I know something in the manga. I'm not gonna spoil it, but I know some of his powers of what he uses for. Like back on topic, if we're talking like recent husbandos or anything, as much as I love my man Zoro, like with the piercings and everything like that, like that's how dedicated I'm to Zoro. But with the whole Cake Island and stuff like that, Sanji though, like those swirly eyebrows, I don't know, like you gotta start simping for the simp.
Wait, who is Sanji?
Sanji is the blonde guy with like the goatee sort of deal that smokes all the time.
Oh, I've seen him. Yeah,
I feel like I'm betraying Zoro in some ways, but
yeah. Zoro, from what I've seen of One Piece, just Zoro is the man.
Zoro's
like,
just the man.
all the fans,
I don't, like-
everyone can just agree that Zoro is
like
the
no
one.
one understands Zoro.
That's what I get.
But Zoro is the best.
Yeah, if I ever watched it, I probably think the same
Yeah,
thing, to be
yeah.
honest. So for me, for that question, who's your favorite waifu or husbando? I think for my waifu, it's just gonna have to be, I don't know, because like I don't really care, to be honest. I don't really like think about, dang, who's my favorite waifu, whatever. But if I had to pick one, it might be like Rem from ReZero. She's just like, oh, that moment in the show. You haven't seen ReZero, right?
No, I haven't. But I hear a lot of people like Rem.
Like she's just the most like God, it is the most loyalist moment, and it's just such a great moment that she and Subaru, the main character, go through, and it just breaks my heart because of what Subaru does to her. Not does to her. He just kind of denies her.
Yeah, I hear about like the Amelia, I think her name is, meme all the time. That's the only thing I know about it.
Oh my God, yeah, that's a whole another discussion. For ReZero, it's just like Amelia versus Rem, and it's like kind of not even a contest.
If I'm talking waifus, like I'm not like I don't know if you've ever seen it, and I'm not really a romance person or stuff, but I've seen Ouran High School Host Club like back when I first started anime, and Haruhi, who's the main protagonist, like I've never seen another character with her personality.
Is that a dude or a girl? Because I saw the first episode like last week, yeah, and I was just like, is this a dude?
It's a girl.
I thought like everyone in that school was like a dude, and it was a host club, right? But I guess there can be female hosts or whatever.
No, like I mean. The thing is, basically, they thought she was a dude at first because of the way she was dressed, but then
Yeah, she looked like one.
At the end of the first episode, they clear it up.
Because I'm going to be honest, I didn't even finish the first episode.
Yeah, I mean, it's a classic.
Yeah, that's what I heard, so I kind of wanted to start it, and it's not that I was like, okay, this show sucks. I just didn't have the time to finish it. So I guess we can move on to the next question, which is favorite and least favorite anime tropes.
Okay, so for favorite anime trope, I'd have to say like emotional flashbacks before and like during a big moment. Like, but specifically, not like the emotional flashbacks that have been showed already, But I like the ones that haven't been shown before, that like just before a big moment, like you don't like this character, but then they give them reasoning in a flashback of why they're acting this way or something of that sort. It just
Hmm.
builds more character to that person. Least favorite trope would have to be dead or absent or invisible parents. I just want a really
Oh
good
God.
shonen where
Yeah.
a parent like has
Is
involvement with the
alive.
main
Like there's
character.
no deadbeat dad. There's no deadbeat, or they're just dead in general. You know what I mean? They just have some nice parents.
Yeah, like just an episode where they're coming in like, yo, like even if they're not like consistent, there's at least a good couple episodes, and like every now and again when like they just like come in, like, yo, you want tea or something?
Yeah, that would be a nice switch up. But like with shonen, especially, it's just like, all right, your dad's a deadbeat, or your parents are dead, your whole family just got killed. It's always something like that. So moving on to the next question, what's the first anime you ever watched?
For me, if you're disregarding Pokemon, I love the crap out of like the classic Pokemon.
Yeah, same to be honest.
But the first thing I saw was Fairy Tale because my friend, I just made a friend and she's like, you should watch Fairy Tale. I'm like, what's Fairy Tale? And she's like, it's anime. I'm like, what's an anime? I have never heard that word before
Yeah,
in
that's
my
how I was for
entire
sure.
small child life. What about you?
The first one I ever watched was, I mean, I don't know, to be honest, because I used to watch like Cartoon Network. I used to watch all of that, just cartoon shows in general. And a lot of those are American ones, on Cartoon Network, but there would also be like Naruto. I saw Dragon Ball. I don't know exactly the first one. Well, I mean, the first one was probably Pokemon, let's be honest, but let's say that one
Yeah,
doesn't count, right? But the first anime, like when I was a kid and I
yeah.
was watching, I didn't even know it was an anime, was Naruto, like the first Naruto, and my brother was really into it, and I would watch it, and I'm like, "Yo, what is this? This is crazy. What's with all the like? What is this village? What is all these ninjas? Why is there like these Chinese Japanese symbols all over the place?" And I'm just like, "Yo, why is that there?" Now I know why it's there because it's a Japanese show. But back then I was just like, "Yo, what is this? This show's crazy." And that's how it became one of my favorite shows. Naruto Shippuden, love it so much. Even though it does have its problems for sure.
I feel like at some point in everyone's childhood, they have seen an episode of either Dragon Ball and Naruto on the TV,
Oh
but they
yeah.
just either forgot about it or they just, I don't know, saw like 2 seconds of it.
Dragon Ball for sure. I've seen a few episodes of Dragon Ball. What's it called? Dragon Ball Z? Because I watched the first Dragon Ball and that was like the super old one. But then there's like other ones. It's so much. I've never watched it really, but I've seen a few on like Cartoon Network when I was a kid. Yeah, so I guess that's my first and your first. So moving on to, what's your favorite fight scene/scenes from an anime?
When it comes to fight scenes, the only thing that I can think about that just like I just really like, I mean, is the in Hunter x Hunter during the Heaven's Arena arc when Gon is fighting Hisoka,
Oh my
like
god.
the few seconds of like the pure raw fighting, like there's no inner monologue or dialogue between them. Before that, because I only watched Hunter x Hunter like recently,
Hmm.
like I'd say a couple months ago. Like before that, like most anime I've seen, including One Piece and other shows like that, there's some sort of talking going on between them. But in this one, it was just like
Straight
Gon
action.
kicking and punching Hisoka, and yeah, it was different, and it felt different.
Yeah, for me, I'm gonna have to say it. I know people give this show a lot of crap, but honestly, when the episode aired, this like blew up on Twitter. That's how crazy it was. And I'm gonna have to go with one of my favorites for sure. Maybe my favorite. Definitely my favorite of the last year or whenever the show aired is episode 19 of Demon Slayer. The fight between Tanjiro and Rui. I'm gonna say it. It literally makes me cry. Like I can't watch that without like crying for sure. The music, just the art and the animation with behind it, just the emotion like that it brings out of me. It's just so good. And the bond between like Nezuko and Tanjiro, just
I can't wait till I get to that episode. It's bound to be great. I actually did see like a couple screenshots of it like a while ago, I think, with Nezuko, but that's just about it. I tried ignoring it as much as possible because I knew I was gonna watch it at some point.
yeah, it's definitely, it just really affects me. Like I can't even like just casually watch it, you know? I recently watched it like maybe a week ago or two. My brother was watching the show and I wanted to watch it. It just still gets me, man. It's just that powerful for me. But shonen shows get me like that, which is kind of weird, but yeah. So, moving on to the next question, would you ever want to visit Japan?
I mean, of course. I thought about it like back when I was just like a couple years ago, me being the weeaboo I am, like was just going around like I'm gonna live in Japan when I'm older. It's gonna be lit, you know. I was thinking about all these different like things I was gonna do there. I had no idea what was even in Japan. I just knew anime and Japan were like in the same context of something.
Yeah.
So it's just like now I know there's like a lot of cool shops there that I would love to like go to,
Hmm.
and it's just like really cool, honestly. If I could live there, it'd be great.
Yeah, I think it's the same for me. Like, I will definitely visit there. But what I was really thinking about was maybe moving there one day. Who doesn't think about visiting or moving to Japan? It's just such a, I mean, maybe if you don't like anime, you know, maybe you just had no thoughts about it, but it's one of the biggest tourist destinations in the world because it's just such a amazing place, to be honest. The food is great, the scenery, Tokyo, all of these different places. The city is amazing and beautiful and how crazy and hectic, and it's so different. And plus anime, you know, it's the mecca for anime.
What I think I like most about it is like just the culture. Like I see all like the sakura trees, and I don't know if they actually do like festivals for the sakura trees. It's probably a thing they do because it wouldn't be in so many anime if it wasn't. But I don't know, I like the sakura trees and just in general because I never knew there was like pink trees. Kind of. I mean, they're off white-ish colored, I guess.
Yeah.
I find Japan just to be beautiful in general. Like from all the pictures I've seen.
Yeah, for sure. So we would both definitely want to go to Japan. So moving on to the next question. What's the worst anime you've ever seen?
I don't spend a lot of time looking at anime that I know has a bad review. But back when I wasn't involved with people on the internet who watched anime or
Yeah.
anything like that. I was just like going through Netflix. I think it was sort of online, but the concept isn't necessarily bad. It's just that I did not like the fact that Kirito is very bland. It was a lot different was I was expecting it to be, and they focused a lot on Kirito and Asuna and stuff. But I mean, if we're having to talk worst out of anything I've seen, it has to be Baruto.
Oh my god.
Just
Oh
like
my god.
yeah.
It's so bad. That's my pick too. You know, that's my pick. It's literally the worst show I've ever seen. It's the worst ranked show on my anime list, like on my list, and it's just that bad.
It's just like they could have done it. They could have done it good. There was a way. There is a way that they could like just if they just delete Baruto and just restart. There are ways that they can make it and better, like
For
not
sure.
making the kids like carbon copies of just like. You know, if you go on to whatever site it is where you put the two Pokemon together and combine them, like
Yeah.
if they didn't do that, but with like the Naruto characters, and they just actually made them like, you know, resemble them, but not be like just Sasuke with glasses and Sakura's dress.
Just more distinct. Just give him a little bit more distinctness. Make him cool.
Yeah, and then Shikamaru's kid,
Is literally Shikamaru. That's so sad.
like carbon copy.
Maybe that like sparks the Boruto conversation. This is coming from a Naruto fan, like a huge Naruto fan. It sucks. And you're not even a Naruto fan and you gave it a shot. You know what I mean? And it's just not it. It's terrible. The pacing's awful. The characters, these kids just aren't good. Boruto's okay. Like he has potential. Maybe when he gets older, maybe, but just no, man. It's just bad.
The parts I remember from Naruto, I love Naruto, and it just like kind of hurt me, you know, just to
Yeah.
see like Naruto being a deadbeat dad, kind of like ignoring
God,
his
he
family
sucks
for
in it.
Hokage.
They ruined Naruto in the
yeah.
show. Look at my
Yeah,
man's
like-
hair. What did they do to him? Oh no.
Yeah, I mean, I get he's old, but I mean, he should still have a little bit more hair or something.
What happened to his
I don't know,
hairline? Oh my god, Naruto.
But
Why?
like the people who probably haven't seen Naruto and watched Baruto first, like maybe like the little kids who don't know what Naruto is, I can see like all these little kids who've never seen Naruto hating on like Naruto, not knowing who he is or what he's done and stuff. And it's just like, how can you do my man's like that?
He's literally the GOAT of everyone in the entire show, and they just ruined him. They just ruined him with this little brat kid, Boruto. A little spoiled brat that just sucks. His show sucks. Everything about it sucks.
I 100% am probably gonna go back and rewatch it because I mean, like scenes of Naruto that I remember, like the scene with Zabuza. I actually rewatched that recently.
So good.
It still makes me cry.
Yeah, that's such a great scene.
I loved Zabuza.
Such a great arc. That was like definitely. I think that was like the first major arc in Naruto, the original, and it's still like regarded as one of the best of Naruto in general. But yeah, I guess that's all the questions, huh? You want to talk about your first impressions on Demon Slayer since you just started watching it?
Yes, I actually like a couple hours ago I finished watching the 3rd episode.
Ooh.
But so far I really like the animation. Like it's just like I both have and haven't seen that animation style before. It's like a mix of some other things. Can't quite name it, but I know I just really like it. And also in like the 2nd episode where Tanjiro is dodging all the traps and things, I really like just like the fluid animation just during that one like scene. I asked like the character designs, like mainly the outfits of Tanjiro and Nezuko with like the kimonos and everything. I love the parts where they do that first person sort of ordeal where they've done it a few times already.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It just feels more immersive, I feel.
Yeah, you feel like you're really in the character, and it looks so cool whenever they do that. Yeah, I agree.
In the 3rd episode, I like the whole journal thing where that he's writing for Nezuko while she's like asleep. I know. If it's like a different way. Yeah, it's a different way to go through a training montage compared to other shows I've seen.
Yeah, that's something I really appreciated.
At the end of episode 3, I was kind of confused because I didn't quite get what happened when he like cut through the guy's mask and ended up slicing through the boulder. I mean, like were those two Makamo and Sabito, I believe? Yeah. Were they like
they did
or something?
They did.
Yeah. I mean,
but they just guided Tanjiro through that moment, you know. But yeah, they're hella dead.
I was like, what happened?
That'll be explained. Because that's like what, the 3rd episode, right? So it'll be explained. I think maybe in the 4th or 5th. I think by the 5th you'll know, because this demon pops up and it's so good. But yeah, the biggest thing for me about Demon Slayer has to be the animation. I think anyone who even hates the show, which there's a lot of people that hate Demon Slayer, and you just can't deny the art and the animation is just, it's kind of on a different level.
I've never seen anyone who hates Demon Slayer.
I mean, well, when I say hate, it's like just Twitter people, you know what I mean? But I've never really seen anyone that genuinely hates the show. They just hate the popularity behind it, you know what I mean? Because it's like the biggest show right next to My Hero Academia, which is kind of untoppable. But yeah, I'm definitely a huge fan of Demon Slayer. But yeah, I definitely want to know your thoughts once you get to it, episode 19. Like your thoughts on that episode.
I will definitely give you my thoughts on that episode.
Thank you, because it's just, for me, that's just that moment in Demon Slayer that just really solidified why I really like the show. But moving on, we can talk about the anime we plan on watching for the show that we can, because this is what we're probably going to be ended up doing, as we talked about it off the show. We're probably going to watch an anime and talk about it on the show. So what are some that we're thinking about watching?
We talked about JoJo's Bizarre Adventures.
Yeah,
because that's
definitely
like a popular one. And we talked about Cowboy Bebop. Did you mention something about Made in Abyss?
Made in Abyss as well.
I mean, when the Uzumaki anime comes out, we could probably talk about that as well.
Yeah, and also just currently airing anime, if there's anything that kind of catches our eye. We both have seen the previous seasons, or it's just a new airing show. We could definitely give our first impressions of the show, stuff like that. And JoJo's is definitely one we're going to be diving into eventually.
Yeah, I mean, the memes just like draw you in.
The memes are just too powerful for JoJo. And it's like, we got to jump on that.
Anything like, as long as it's not Boku no Pico, as long as there's a lot of memes about like an anime, I'm definitely probably going to watch it.
But here's my biggest beef with JoJo's, okay? So I've watched a few episodes of it. and it looks dusty. And I get it. It's supposed to take place in like this olden times in the beginning of the show. It's like old. But man, does it look weird? The characters look funky. Like it's just weird. It's bizarre.
Bizarre adventures. I watched the first episode. It didn't just like draw me in. I was kind of just like, what?
So those are a few shows that we're thinking about: Cowboy Bebop, Made in Abyss, JoJo's, and maybe some currently airing anime. But yeah, I guess that's the not the first episode of Anime and Chill. I think this is the 53rd episode. But yeah, this is the first episode with Blue as a co-host. So
It was great being here. Like, I could talk about anime for hours.
So, thank you guys so much for listening. If you want to rate and review the podcast, you can do that on Apple iTunes. Or if you want to follow us on Twitter, you can follow Blue Dubs at
Blue Dubs with an underscore, I think.
Okay, so that's her Twitter. And you can follow the show at Anime and Chill Pod, or you can follow Otaku VA at Otaku VA Tweets. So, thank you so much for listening. We love you, and we're out.
Peace.